Hi everyone. All right, so now that you're done with your checkpoint that you did all by yourself and you tried your really hardest at, I'm glad you're back with me. We're gonna work on some story problems, but first we're going to review some of the strategies that we learned in our first unit. Um, One of the you probably remember these. So let's look at these charts and see if you can figure out what is going on here. You did that a little bit yesterday. Um, you also did that a little bit actually right before our break, where you looked at somebody else's work and you figured out what they were doing. So this problem is 53 minus 38. So the problem is 53 minus 38. This student started at 53 and took 30 away, and then, so that's taking away a friendly number, and then hopped back again to get to a friendly number, and then took away the rest. This guy took a friendly number away, a little bit more than they needed to, so they had to add back some. This one started at 38 and added up. So first added up to a friendly number and then figured out the rest. So they did this problem way differently. 38 plus something equals 53. Well, this student said, okay, well, 2 to 40, and then I know 40 plus 13 equals 53. 40 plus 10 plus 3 more. So there are so many ways that you can do this problem. This is a different problem. For the way we would typically write it is 72 minus 49. So see if you can think through, how are these students working on these problems? Are they doing it as a subtraction problem, or are they doing it as an addition problem? These two charts might be helpful for you today as you do this work. So today's lesson, we're going to first work on this problem together, and then we'll work on the next problem together, and then this problem. But each problem I'm going to ask you to try yourself first. So first, let's read this one. It says, I am on page 26 of a biography. How many more pages do I have left to read if there are 292 pages in the book? So you're starting out, if you need a visual, you're starting out, you're reading a really big book. You're starting and you've just gotten 26 pages into this huge 292 page book. How many more pages do you have to read? So go ahead and give this one a try. Pause me, give it a try on a piece of paper or on this slide, and then I'll go ahead and show you some strategies. Don't just skip to my strategies. You got to do the work, man. Do it. All right. So today we're going to be talking about two different strategies. One is called the removal or takeaway strategy. And I'm going to show you what that looks like right now. So this is our number line. And I really, really like using number lines for these problems. I'm going to say that this is the very end of the book. This is page 292. And I'm just going to subtract back until I get to 26. Until I take 26 pages away from here, and that will tell me how many pages I have left. So the first thing I'm going to do is subtract 2. So I'm subtracting to get back to a friendly number, 290. And I'm doing 292 minus 26 here. So 292 minus 26, taking away 2 first. Then I'm going to hop back 20. So I'm going to say 290. The 10 before that is 280. And then the 10 before that is 270. So minus 20 brings me to 270. And then I have 20, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. I need to take 4 more away. So, and I know that 10 minus 4 is 6, so that must mean that if I take 4 away here, I land on 266. So the answer is that I have 266 pages left. Did anybody do this problem this way? Sort of like this? Okay, there's another cool strategy called the difference. So what is the differencing strategy? So let's show that one down here. So hopefully you guys have some writing on your slides. This strategy is called differencing. It's kind of like, what is the big gap between 26 and 292? And that one you can do on a number line too. It's a big gap. We already figured out that it's 266. So we start way down here at 26, and we're going to add up until we get to 292. So the first thing I want to do is add 4, because I like getting to a friendly number, and my friendly number is 30. And then I'm just going to add 100 plus 100. That gets me to 130. And I can add another 100 without going over 292 plus 100. That gets me to 230. And let's see, 3 plus 6 is 90. 30 plus 60 is 90. So let's add 60. That gets me to 290. And I need to get to 292. So I just have to add 2 more. But then I have a problem because I don't know what my answer is. Where is my answer? I figured out this problem, but where's my answer? You're right. The answer is at the top. So let's change this color. The answer is the adding up all of these numbers. And if we did it right, we should end up with 266. So let's take a look at that. 100 plus 100 is 200, plus 60, plus the ones, 4 and 2, so plus 6. And 200 plus 60 plus 6 is 266. So we did it right? We got the same answer, 2 completely different ways. All right, let's move on to the next slide. Slide 10. So you're going to go ahead and work on that first, and then we can work on it together. You can watch how I can solve it, and hopefully you will have something that I can look at and see how you solved it. The other book I'm reading has 183 pages. I am on page 157. How many more pages do I have to read? Go ahead and pause the video and do this work on the slide or on a piece of paper and add your picture. Okay, so let's talk about the takeaway strategy. If we were doing this using the takeaway strategy, which I bet you some of you did, you would have to start at 83, and you're going to take away 57. So I'm going to take away 3 first, which gets me to 180. Then I'll take away 100. And I get to 80. What am I doing? Uh-oh. Oh, Miss Carr, I messed up. Did I mess up? Well, I didn't really mess up, but I started at 153, I took away 3. Okay, that's all right. I took away 100. Boy, sometimes things are confusing. And then I still have the 57, 54. So I have to take away 50. So I take away 50, get to 30. And then I only have 4 more to take away. So 30 minus 4 lands me at 26. Boy, Miss Carr is tired. All right, so what is my answer? 26. This time it's not the top. The top is this number, right? So we started at 183, and we subtracted 157, the takeaway strategy, right? So it just took away that huge number and you ended up at 26, so 26 pages. Now, some of you probably did the differencing strategy. It's finding the gap between the two numbers, 157 and 183. So what is the gap between the two? And this feels like it's probably an easier strategy, this one, to use with this problem because it's a small gap. So 157, we can add, what do we want to add? 30? What if we add 30? Well, no, that's too much. Let's add 20. So that takes us to let's say add 20. From 157, 167, 177. All right. And then we have to fill in this gap. So 177, let's add 3 so we get up to 180. Ooh-wee. Add 3. And then we know 180, we need to add 3 more. There's our 26 again. So this time, the answer's on the top, right here. Well, oops, 20 plus 3 plus 3. You see how that works? So the difference between these two numbers is 26. That's how many more pages they have to read. All right, let's do the last one. So this is the one that you're going to work on your own. Just stop the video and work on. Sam is reading a novel. He is on page 347. There are 381 pages in the book. So how many more pages does Sam have left to read? Go ahead and work on that. Add your work onto the slide and then come back to the video. Okay, so now that you've completed this problem, let's remind ourselves that we're trying for efficiency here. Math is not all about speed, but it is about using the fewest steps. So hopefully you're not doing too much counting by ones, because boy, these are really big numbers and that'd be a lot of counting by ones. So this problem is, you could write it like this, 381 pages of the whole book. He's already read 347 of them. Oops, it's getting up there, isn't it? So you're wondering how many pages are left to read. So this is called well, first of all, we can do the takeaway strategy. So we can start at 381 and take away 347. So the first thing we could do is just take away that 300, huge chunk. So we're taking away 347. There's 300 of it. we're left with 81. Then we can take 1 away to get to 80. And you're saying, Miss Carr, I didn't do it that way. And I'm like, I know. Some of you did things differently. It's fine. This is just one way to do it. So don't worry if you didn't do it my way, as long as you did it efficiently and you ended up at the right spot. Okay, so we're back to here. We're trying to subtract 347. We've subtracted 301. Now we're going to take away the 40. So minus 40 gets us to 40. And we're left with 6, which takes us down to 34 minus 6. So the answer is Sam has 34 pages to read. Now, I know you're saying, Ms. Carr, show me the difference. I want to see how you do the differencing strategy. And I'm dying to show it to you. So here we go. All right. So differencing strategy. Again, this is where you're finding that gap between the two numbers. So you start at 347. And the way that you could write this as an equation is 347 plus blank equals 381. This is the difference right here, right? What do you need to add to this to get that? So 347, we could go ahead and add 40. You want to try it? What happens if you add 40 plus 40? I like that because 4 plus 4 is 8. Does it get us to the right spot? 387. Oops, we went a little bit over, but not much. What do we need to subtract to get 380? We should have been at 381. What's 7 minus what equals 1? Well, it's 6, right? So let's take 6 away because we jumped too far, right? We should have only ended up at 381. So we end up at 381, and the answer is here on the top, 40 minus 6. 40 minus 6 equals 34. Hey, it worked. Yay! 34 pages. Ooh, terrible writing. That is how you work on the difference strategy. So now that you are all experts at the takeaway and the differencing strategy, I'd like for you to go ahead and see if you can figure out these problems. So again, on these slides, you don't actually have any work in your student book today. You're just going to work on these. So you're going to fill in the box, fill in the strategy. The strategy is either removal, which is take away. So take away to a friendly number, then take away a friendly number and adjust. A friendly number is a number that ends with 0. So in this case, you have to look, are they taking away or are they adding? You can tell by looking at that. So you're going to figure out what this number is because they didn't fill it in for you. Figure out your strategy, A, B, or C. Same thing here and same thing on the slide 13, and that's it. So you did a lot of math today. Nice job, mathematicians. Hope you enjoyed this video. It was super fun to make. Yay! See you later.